WROL, WROL, without rule of law. We are now living in a country without rule of law. When law is not equally administered, there is no law. It's not a country of law anymore, it's a country of men. And many have seen this coming before, but it's here like it's never been before. Hello, welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I am Steve Smith. How are you all today? I hope you're well. It's an interesting day and interesting times. Your world has changed. As the old saying goes, when someone was asked, hey, how did you go broke? The answer was, well, slowly at first and then all at once. Well, we have declined into this world without rule of law, slowly at first and now all at once. It's not being hidden anymore. In a minute, after I'm done with this one, but I've decided to make a couple of shorter ones instead of a long one, I'm going to be talking about the potential road to a civil war. People throw that around a lot without really knowing what it means or what they're talking about. We've never had a civil war in this country. I know you're taught about the so-called Civil War. That wasn't a civil war. I'll make a second one after I'm done with this and put it up today about how we may be headed toward a civil war. But we are now in a world without rule of law. Sometime back, probably a couple years ago, I don't know, I made some videos that I tried to explain to people were very important. And a lot of people didn't understand them. And it was about the Irish situation. It was about the suppression of the Irish people over the last 800 years. It was about the Irish rebellion, the War of Independence, the Irish Civil War, the rise of the IRA, and how the IRA was successful in bringing around about, along with political action, and there are all of those things at work. Too many people think it's one or the other because they'll concentrate on the thing that they think they're strong in, and they'll completely dismiss the things that they don't feel are important. And the reason they don't feel they're important is because they're not good at it. They don't know enough about it. But all these things work together, and I talked about the importance of learning how to live under oppression. I also talked about organized crime, Cosa Nostra in this country, and the rise of the mafia, the beginnings of the mafia in Sicily and others and throughout Europe. And I had a lot of comments back then. Well, I don't have any intention of living under oppression. I will fight this. We have to stand up now, and we're going to fight this. And all this talk about living under oppression is, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's been getting worse and getting worse, and I haven't seen a lot of fighting going on. What I have seen is a lot of the people that used to talk about that stuff not talking about it anymore, because it was a very simplistic idea, probably the largest one they could get their mind around, and they've been very quiet about it lately. And I always cautioned, don't talk about that. Don't go there first. You want to exhaust all other avenues, mainly politically. But politically includes working through the political system, working beneath the political system, working outside the political system, working all around, information, community-based programs. I'm not going to get into there right now, but it has to do with learning to operate under and within an oppressive system, an oppressive environment that tries to control you, and doing so in such a way that you're going to come out the other end victorious. Let me put it that. I was going to say successful, but successfully, but victorious. I'm going to make a separate one, both on this, because this is going on. I'm going to put this on both because this message applies to both integrative preparedness and American reversion. But I'm going to make separate ones on what you can do, what you should do, as we go into this next chapter, to where in which WROL is not even trying to be hidden. That was a wrong grammatical reference there. It is important when you find yourself under an oppressive regime. You have three choices. You can either fight against it, and there are times to do that and other times not to. But Steve, now is the time to fight. Okay, but go out there. I'm going to turn on the news and I'm going to wait and read about how you did it. Or watch, okay? Don't be making statements that you're not going to back up and you're not going to do. That's stupid. The second is to curl up and die. And just go along and do what they tell you. Just go along. Just go along. Okay? As long as I'm alive, as long as I'm this, as long as I'm that. And the third is to learn how to live under successfully. Now here's what I'm saying. How to live well. What do we talk about? I talk about all the time. We prepare well today in order to live what? Well tomorrow. So you need to be able to live well under an oppressive regime while you work to correct that problem. Okay? Those are the lessons of the Irish Republican movement. I don't agree with their socialist leanings. I've told them that myself. I've had some very animated conversations with some of the boys in the Felons Club, as a matter of fact, in Belfast. I said, no, I don't agree with, but there are reasons that they base that on the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of crap, and I've told them what's wrong with that too. So you have to be careful of that. So those are the three choices. You either fight, you either curl up in a ball and do what you're told, or you learn, you develop the ability to operate under that oppression and live well while working effectively to correct that problem. Okay? Now, I don't think most of you, my purpose here is not to itemize all the things you need to do. I wouldn't do it anyway. Only a fool talks like that. Like I say, I am going to make a couple of separate ones individually. What you can do on the American reversion side is very long. Very long. So anybody who's not with us on American reversion, if you're really interested in how you can participate in correcting this mess, come over to American reversion. The reason that I don't put the list on integrative preparedness is very short. The reason there is, even though I've got some tremendously smart people on integrative preparedness, there's just too many that jump into the comment sections with stupid, ridiculous observations and comments. And they're not going to do them anyway. My advice is going to be wasted on many preppers because they simply refuse to consider anything outside beans, bullets, and Band-Aids and hiding. Simple as that. They don't want to participate. They don't want to compete in the arena of economics and politics. because I think a lot of them don't understand it. A lot of them don't have much background in it. A lot of them don't feel that they're up to it, so they just want to keep banging that drum of, it's all going to work, and we need to rise up, and this is that, and they speak from ignorance, and then they mislead other people. So I will have a few things that I'll put out on integrative preparedness. Not many. The big list, and there is a lot of things you can do. A lot. I'm going to put over, because I've already written them down. I wrote them down in my Stonemont notebook. Remember that? I'll tell you right now that the things you should do, you should be preparing yourself totally to be able to live outside those external systems. I say this all the time. Those external interrelated systems over which you have little or no control, and that is basic and advanced preparedness. Well, Steve, what is advanced preparedness? I'll tell you what advanced preparedness is. Do you know what these are? You know what those are. Most of you know what these are. For the new people coming by, this is the Stonemont series. This is a series of books that I wrote, detailing in a great story, an exciting story full of love and fighting and apple pie and all sorts of stuff. Detailing, laying out a specific plan on how to prepare for, survive, and rebuild after a total collapse. It's the reversion, the revival, the renewal, an appeal to heaven, the blessings of freedom, and the latest one that is just blowing everything off the charts, hostages to fortune. That's me down there. See that? Stephen C. Smith. That's me. This is your plan. This is what you should be doing. Because this tells you everything. This tells you how to separate from the system, how to develop and maintain your own independence. And I tell you what, there are people who will say, but not everybody can do that. I'll tell you something. Everybody can do it. But there's a lot who won't, because they simply won't. Because they said, not everybody can do that. These are the victims. There are some people that are just bound and determined to remain victims because it's easier to complain than it is to work and solve a problem. This is your plan. This is how you handle this is what's going on right now. And whether that big sun that's throwing all these X-class solar flares at us is going to take us out in the next month or so, because that's what this is about too. A CME that takes out the entire world, what do you do about it? If you're prepared for a CME, you are prepared for what's happening in this world right now. The total collapse of our political and judicial system. How do you get them? You can get them from Amazon. They're getting kind of heavy to hold. You can get them from Amazon. The links are down below. You can get them in either paperback or Kindle from Amazon, and the link is down there. Or you can get them from me personally. You can get autographed copies. Used to be, people had to send in their check, mail them to me. That's still down there, the mailing address. And I love getting everybody's cards and letters and notes that they send to me. But now you can order them through the website, stonemont.us. Stonemont.us, because that's what this is, the Stonemont series. See that? It says Stonemont series. The Stonemont.us, I like the US domain better than the .com, and that's why all my stuff is, for the most part, is under US. Stonemont.us, you can order all the books. You can put down there, what you would like me to sign in it, and it's really a cool system. By the way, I just got a load in. I sold out of the books last week, and so I order a bunch in. They said they were going to have them to me by the 9th of April. I've already got some in. They got some to me early, but I've gotten so many. You guys are killing me. You've gotten so many orders in, both in the mail and over the website. I think I've run out again, so I've got to put in another order, which I'll do when I'm done with this. But keep on. Get them to you as soon as they get in, and this is going to be the entire plan for you to know exactly how to prepare for and survive anything that comes down your road. You need to do it. So that link is down there too, stonemont.us. I think there's other stuff down there too. The Patreon channel, come join us there. American Reversion, and if you're watching this on American Reversion, I'm not sure if the Integrated Preparedness is on there, but the Prepping for Prosperity is. For those of you that want to know about how to do better financially, that's why I put that channel in. This is, we are without rule of law. The law that applies to you is the law that the powers that be have decided will apply to you. How much influence do you have over that? Okay, that's another thing I guess I'll be talking about in the future. But developing the ability to live under oppression, because that's what we're in. If you don't think there's oppression, ask the guys who are in jail still over that January 6th deal. Okay, you don't think that's oppression? Coming to a town near you. The ability to develop a plan and a way to live well under oppression is vital, and it can be done for those who will simply listen and do it. Okay, I'm going to bring that to a close because I'm going to make the other one here in a minute after I put this up about the road to civil war. Both of these are important today, and I don't think a lot of people understand that. So remember that in integrative preparedness, we say that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And over at American Reversion, we say that America needs a reversion, and it needs you to be a part of it, and it does. And get out there and do something. Get out there and do a lot. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.